Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of Truth Tuesday, real conversations for conscious living on the Lotus Lounge podcast. Truth Tuesday is a space for honest, grounded conversations about spirituality, wellness, and conscious living without bypassing, without performance, and without pretending growth is always soft or easy. Tonight's episode sets the tone for this new chapter, and I'm honored to be sitting down with the creator of Truth Tuesday herself, Alexandra Beepat. Uma is a spiritual teacher, healer, and founder of the Lotus and the Light Metaphysical Center. She spent years guiding others through healing, awakening, and alignment, and tonight she's stepping into the guest seat to share her own truth. The topic of tonight's conversation is choosing the hard life after my soft girl era. Uma, thank you so much for trusting this space and starting Truth Tuesday by going first.
Thank you, Rach. And I really love your opening. I'm going to have to hire you.
Hey, I love that for me.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you so much for having me and for being my first co-host here on the Truth Tuesday podcast.
For sure, for sure. Super exciting stuff. So before we dive into all of our interview questions, my first and foremost question is, I know that we had Wellness Wednesday before this as our initial podcast setup. What was the motivation to do the switch to Truth Tuesday?
Yeah, so I had a lot of fun doing Wellness Wednesday. I would scour the internet and the expos and my friends list for all the amazing up and coming healers and wellness practitioners to learn about the work that they were doing. But I would also check my podcast stats, and I noticed that the podcast episodes where people were really sharing their struggles, that was really what was interesting to people. And it just goes back to that age-old thing that, everybody's trying to get ahead in life, and sometimes we get let down. We feel like, oh, look at Uma, look at Rachyl. They're living their dream lives. They're doing the work that they want to do, and they have meaning and purpose. And it's probably such a breeze. And we know it is not a breeze.
Right?
Yeah. So I just wanted to find people that would be willing to be honest and to no spiritual bypassing, no spiritual elitism. Like, come on here and talk about your hard journeys and talk about what you did to get through to the other side, because there might be somebody listening that it could be a really big source of inspiration for them. So that's where we came up with Truth Tuesday.
The authenticity, the energy behind that, the desire to keep it real. I love that.
Yeah, I love that too. And I figure, 2026 is like, it's not just a new year, it's a new cycle that we're beginning. In numerology, we're starting a whole new 9-year cycle. And I said, something about this new 9-year cycle makes me feel like truth and authenticity is going to be coming to the forefront. So we might as well get ready, and we might as well jump on the bandwagon and get it started.
I'm telling you, I'm right there with you. I've been feeling it.
Right.
So, let's go ahead and dive into these interview questions.
I'm ready.
All right. So you chose to open Truth Tuesday with the topic, choosing the hard life after my soft girl era. So what did the soft girl era represent to you, and why did it stop working?
Right. So I have been a social media personality for, I don't know, the past 10 years, at least, at a minimum. And one of the things that I've noticed is that people really took to me because I share a lot of my personal life on here. So people have been seeing me go in and out of relationships, go in and out of making friends, losing friends, like all of that. Right. And I feel like I finally found the person, the relationship that allowed me to actually experience what people call that soft girl era. Right. So my relationship I've been in for 5 years, and he is amazing. And I don't want to make the whole podcast about him, but he's amazing. He's an amazing person. He's gotten me to take down all my barriers. But then it also, like, I just became soft, right? Because now I don't have to do certain things because I have a man that's going to do that for me. Or I don't have to worry about certain things because I have a man that does that for me. I don't have to work as hard because I have a man with a secondary income. It's just like life became softer, right? My kids went to college. I'm an empty nester. It's just me and my man in our house and like just enjoying life. But I didn't really come here to enjoy life, sad to say. I don't want to make it sound like that, but yeah, you know, I'm a life path nine, and I'm here as the humanitarian, and I want to work, and I want to go higher, and I want to go more, and I want to do more, and I want to help more. So I decided to come out of my cocoon of love and to really put myself out there. I'm actually inviting in the hard life.
I tell you, that's definitely not one you hear often.
Right.
That's beautiful, honestly. And to recognize that not that the initiation of the soft girl era was feeling safe.
Yeah.
with that other person is just beautiful to recognize. I'd love to hear that. So with that, when you say hard life, what did you actually mean? And how exactly is this different from struggle or survival mode?
Yeah. So there's two kinds of hard lives, right? The hard life before, or the hard life that most people know about, is where you're struggling. And that's who I consider myself to be before my current relationship. I was a single mom for a lot of years, raising my kids on my own. I did have support though. Their father, my parents, his family, we were supported, but at the end of the day, it all rested on me to make sure all these bills were paid. These kids got to school, they ate, they got clothes, they got vacations, everything rested on me. So it was a struggle for a very long time. And it was just really hard to relax because you always had to be in that go mode, right? When I met my man, and then it coincided with the time my kids were leaving for college. They started working, they started making their own money. It's like things became easier and easier. Mom doesn't have to cover everything. You know, Uma doesn't have to do everything. Now there's other people to help. So I went into that soft girl life, but I got kind of lazy. And I know this is going to rub a couple of people the wrong way, but for some of us living in that soft life, we have gotten lazy. We've gained weight. We developed health conditions because of the gaining the weight or the unhealthy lifestyle. Some of us may even just fallen into a routine where we're not doing anything to challenge ourselves. So that's why when I said I'm retiring the soft girl life and I'm coming back to the hard life, this hard life I'm talking about is challenges. Every day, every week, every month, every year. What can you do, Uma, to challenge yourself? What can you do to get out of your comfort zone? And from January 1st, I hit the ground running, right? One of the apps I'm streaming on is doing a reality TV show. I applied. I don't know if I'm going to get on it, but when I tell you that's so out of my comfort zone because I'm an introvert, right? And I'm just doing these things. I'm going to Texas for my birthday in 2 weeks. And I've really gotten like not into a place of traveling anymore after the whole COVID thing. So that's the hard life that I'm talking about is what are you doing to get out of your comfort zone? I'm back to the gym. It hurts after not working out for like 5 years. It hurts, but I get up and I show up and I go every day. So it's like these things that are uncomfortable. Also too, the hard life is about being honest with yourself about people in your life, honest with the people in your life. Because you see, being in spiritual spaces, it's easy to just go with the flow and let things be. But sometimes you got to speak up and you got to say something.
Very true. Very true. I really like how you were saying that it's like we've gotten to this point in the soft life where we've gotten stagnant essentially. And I was very literally just talking about this with my dad as well as my therapist.
Yeah.
building that window of tolerance, because in that soft girl era, we don't build it. We're just soft.
Right.
So, and all of those things that you're describing remind me of expanding that window of tolerance. And that's just that space before we have to say, I can't do anything else.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We have
Mhm.
to like push ourselves. And especially as the older you get, you have to take yourself out of your comfort zone, because then it's like your body gets accustomed to doing the same old, same old. Your life, and then I personally feel that's how people die. It's like, it's like the soul is like, okay, well, we're not doing anything else, so I might as well head on out. And
Yeah.
I want to be here for a while. I want to keep experiencing new things.
Mhm. It keeps you young.
It does keep you young.
Now, I want to touch on that conscious living without bypassing aspect, because that feels juicy.
Yeah.
You'll find often in spiritual spaces that they glorify that ease and flow and surrender. How has your definition of conscious living changed when it comes to effort, discomfort, and responsibility? And you did touch on that a little bit just now, but I want to dive into that a little bit more.
Right. So this is one of the biggest problems I have. I am a soul alignment coach. I do one-on-ones with my clients where we work together for a number of weeks. And people always ask me, like, why can't we get this done in an hour? We can, we absolutely can. But your mindset, your behavior, your patterns is what takes a couple of weeks to unwork and recreate. And the thing is that a lot of people want a lot of things, but they don't understand you got to do work to get the things. Well, no, Uma, law of attraction says it'll just come to me. It absolutely will, but you still have to be in the space to receive it. So case in point, if I'm working with a female who wants to be happily ever after married, your hard choice is you're going to have to leave the guy who's constantly cheating on you and refusing to put you in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be him, sis. It's not going to be him. But you can have that happily ever after and that marriage life with another guy that wants that same thing. So it's, yes, it is law of attraction. Yes, it is putting it out to the universe, but it's also taking steps to meet it when it comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You want to be a millionaire, but every month you're flying off to a different country. Right? You're going to have to make some changes. You're going to take that money and invest it, or maybe buy property, or maybe start a second stream of income or something. It's not just going to magically appear you being a millionaire if you keep spending that money. So that's the hard choices, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is we have to start coming to terms with what we have. I think the biggest hard choice people have to realize is that we don't have all the time in the world. And that is a problem, because most people feel, well, I'll get to it next month. I'll get to it next year. I'll do that before I'm 50. But time has a funny way of sneaking up on you. And now you're in your 80s and you're sitting on a porch somewhere wishing, I wish I did take that trip. I wish I did propose to that lady. I wish I did try sushi. Whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Because it really can be just as simple as, did I try the sushi?
Right, right.
Yeah, and that really does dive into, wow, that really does dive into the root of it, because that being conscious and being present and recognizing that time can get away with you, that if I do this thing right now that I said I'll do next month, by the time next month comes, I can build upon it. What
Yeah,
happens to the building when we're sitting there in our soft life?
yeah.
Now, shifting gears a little bit. So, you have been very vocal and very honest on social media about body, about aging, perimenopause, and getting your body back to that functional space again. Not aesthetic, but strong, stable, sturdy, reliable.
Yeah.
How did that season force you to relate to your body differently?
I was always like a vain person growing up, like, because I had, I was an athlete. I'm pretty. So I had that pretty girl magic, nobody could say
Mhm.
no to me. I got doors open. I got into clubs easy. My body was just banging. It was crazy. It was good. I didn't have a problem with men. I didn't have a problem with getting into a relationship. There was always a guy who wanted to put me in a relationship. So I was in a way spoiled growing up. And again, going back to, I took that for granted that this will be forever. That's not the truth. The truth is I had 2 children who are now towering over me, 6'2" and 6'3". And
Okay.
they came out of my body, right?
Wow.
So it did a number on my body. And even though I do work out and I do eat right, my body has forever changed because of those 2 pregnancies. And when I was in my 30s, I waged war against my body. Like, no, you cannot look like this. You cannot carry this extra weight. You cannot have a belly. And then when I hit my 40s, I started to relax because I started to realize that my body is still taking care of me. I can still walk. I can still lift things. I can still squat. I can still do yoga. There's a lot of things I can do. There's some things I can't do because the age thing is creeping up there, but there's a lot of things I can still do. So I started to look at my body differently and say, most people, when they go to war and they come back, they're celebrated. And you've been through a lot, from early childhood trauma to raising children, to producing children, to a lot of health crises along the way. Because ever since I was a child, I've had a lot of health issues that I have somehow mysteriously healed within myself, right? And it's like I started to have this more deeper appreciation for my body. And then when you pair that with meeting someone who just thinks I'm a goddess, right? No matter what I wear, no matter because if I eat, I have like an inflammation problem. So if I eat something that's not good for me, my whole face blows up. I look like 6 months pregnant, and I look overweight. And then the next day, the bloating goes down and I'm back to normal. It's just, and you guys will see that. You'll see me on streams. You'll be like, whoa, Uma gained weight. No, I just blew up. And then give it a couple days and I went back down to my normal size. It's just something that I have. And it doesn't matter what I look like. He just thinks I look gorgeous. So having that in my life and then my own appreciation made me turn the corner and say, no more war on bodies. And I used to post pictures and, take 20 pictures just to post one, because I would be like, okay, you could see my double chin there. You could see my arm fat there. You could see my belly there. And now I just don't give a F, honestly, because at the end of the day, one thing about being a live streamer is that you get trolled a lot. As we came on, I'm on Meet Me, and some girl came in and started trolling me, right? She just came in and was like, ew. And you get that a lot. So thankfully, you build up resistance to it because you realize that people who troll, they got problems with themselves. That got nothing to do with you, right? So that's why I'm able to just kind of quickly move through it. So I say this to say to people, a lot of people haven't been blessed with the things I've been blessed with, like a great supportive partner or the ability to live stream and deal with trolls on a daily basis so I can build up a resistance. So to those people, I'm saying to you, find ways how you can appreciate your body and look at your body differently, because your body is there and it will continue to be there. It's probably the only friend that you're going to have until the end of time. Treat it well.
Treat it well. Wow. Those are some very powerful statements there, Uma. Especially the part about waging war on the body, and that when people come back from war, they're generally celebrated. So why not celebrate our body? You've been through war, hell and back.
Where's the coming home welcome party, right?
Where's the coming home welcome party? Exactly. Yes.
We need those.
Yes. But in that same space of waging war, not so much on the body, I've heard you say before that waging war on toxic and dramatic people is sometimes very necessary, especially as it pertains to protecting our boundaries, protecting our peace. So what did you have to learn about being nice or understanding to get there?
I had to unlearn the idea that if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Because some people heads are so far up their wazoo that they go around hurting people and not even being aware of it. I just had a situation with, she was a supporter of mine on my streaming app. She was like my number one gifter, you know, on the streaming app. And we developed a friendship outside of the streaming app to the point where we were hanging out. I invited this woman and her man to my house. And then she in turn invited me and my man to go on a trip with her and her man, not her husband. And it was a complete clown show. I mean, they both got really drunk and they were fighting, and her man was threatening people there and wanting to do illegal substances. It was horrific. It was terrible. And then I had to step into the mom role because there was people involved. There was a child involved, and I had to make sure everybody was okay, because the weekend ended with her man leaving her stranded there.
Oh my goodness.
They're still together by the way. So I had to vocally say to her, no, absolutely not. Because you and I understand you're going back to him and you're making excuses for him, but how you and him have treated everybody on this trip is atrocious. And you put us in danger in addition to treating us atrociously. So I'm going to say, no, I cannot be your friend. And I ended it very nicely, you know, but this is how deranged this woman is. She's a doctor in New York. She created a lurker account to come into my stream. She's probably here right now, to lurk on me, to spy on me. I'm telling you, this is like my life. And she went back to my other friend and lied on me and said, oh, Uma's talking about you. You need to watch her. So now my friend is questioning my friendship, right? So that's when I just let it all out. And I just said, this is why I don't rock with this person. I put all the business out there. And a lot of people would look at that and say, oh, no, you shouldn't do that. You should be nice. No. There's some people that really are harmful. There's some people that are poisonous. And if you don't tell people what you've been through with them, they can fall into the same trap. Now, here's the thing. I don't care if people friend her. But if you hear my account of what I've been through with this woman and you decide to friend her, then that's on you. I don't feel bad about it. If she do to you what she's done to me and a million others, because she has no friends, right? And there's a reason why she has no friends, because she burns everybody she comes in contact with.
Yeah.
So when you don't accept accountability, I'm going to speak on it. And that's how I became known on streams. Is I'm not a gossiper. I'm not a create drama. I'm not a toxic person. But if you wrong me, I am going to talk about it. And if you really dangerously wrong me, I'm going to mention your name. I'm going to say, this is my experience with this person, right? So that's like really hard pill for people to swallow, because we were brought up to, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. And I fight against that. And that could be my Sag rising, that could be my Gemini moon, but I fight against that. I'm like, no, say out loud what has bothered you. Say out loud what your experience has been. And then don't tell people what to do, but they can decide for themselves what they want to do moving forward. That's me waging war on negative, toxic people.
And that is a word. Because some of us, a lot of people would see something like that, see her go through the situation with her man and everything that went down on vacation and all that good stuff, and would like still feel bad at least for her and be like, do you need anything? Is everything okay? What can I do? Blah, blah, blah. But for you to stand on it and say, no.
Because I could see in her eyes, like she still wanted to be with him. And like I told her, I was like, I can't, you are too broken. I cannot help you, because that's crazy. This man has literally broken up with you in front of everybody, left you stranded, couldn't care less how you got home. And she had brought a friend and her daughter, her little 9-year-old daughter. And he couldn't care less about the friend or her daughter, how they got home. And you want me to forgive him? No, it don't work like that. No.
No, ma'am.
Her excuse was, after she went home to him, her excuse was that he had a nervous breakdown.
We can get help for that.
Yeah. And you don't have to leave the people you came here with. You could have taken all of them and left. And me and my man and, my other friend, Mr. Six, we would have had a great time. Okay. Y'all could have left.
Hey,
It
sometimes, yeah. Whew. Well, it's very powerful to see you and anyone in general, but especially to see you on your public platform talk about putting in those boundaries, standing on those boundaries, and knowing when it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah, and I tell people that I have this beautiful woman that comes to my streams. She's an older Caucasian woman in her 60s. And even though she's in her 60s, a really sweet woman, her father says the most horrific things to her.
Mm.
Oh, you're so fat. Nobody's going to want to date you, because she had her husband passed. So now she's back out in the dating world, and I'm trying to help her with her confidence. And then when she tells me these horrific things her father says, I'm like, you need to curse him out. Oh no, Uma, I can't do. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, because he has no right. He's old enough. He's in his 80s. He's old enough. He knows what he's doing. He knows saying something mean to somebody is not good. Well, he's older. Yes, so he should know better. And that's just the way I stand on business, because I see so many people struggling with family members. To anyone who's listening to this podcast, I don't care who the family member is. If they disrespect you, if they hurt you, stand on business, wage war, protect your health, protect your peace. I don't talk to a couple of my family members, and I am A-okay with it.
Also,
I'm
same.
A-okay with it, because my mom, though, like, I don't talk to my brothers, and my mom, she'll show me pictures of them and their family. Now, listen, don't get it twisted. I'm very happy for my brothers. I'm very happy that they have a lot of great things going on. I just don't want to be around it, because if you can't be nice to me, and if you can't respect me, you have no place in my life. It's just that simple.
And it really is just that simple.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great segue. Because you have spoken so powerfully about fighting for your relationships as well as your partner, and choosing your partner fully in a culture that often glorifies walking away. What does conscious commitment look like to you now?
This is the question that gets, for a lot of people, because I've always struggled with commitment, Sag rising and all. And I struggle with commitment because I feel like people don't understand the spiritual significance of a relationship. The spiritual significance of a relationship is that you get to journey with a partner. They have so many names for it. A helpmate, right? And there's nowhere about that journey where it says limit what they're doing or let them limit what you're doing. You're both here to have an experience, right? So if you have a partner who is like, well, I don't want you to do that, or I don't want to go here, or you're going to have to do this on your own, they may not be the partner for you. But I don't really resonate with breaking up every time your partner doesn't want to do something that you don't want to do. I resonate with communication, but communication with comprehension. It's not enough to talk. You have to talk, but you have to also understand what is being said and what they are saying, right? So for me, conscious commitment looks a lot like, hey, I like you and I want the best for you. So if you decide you want to work 2 jobs to stack your money, and that means I'm not going to get to see you a lot, I'm going to rock with it because that's what you want and that makes you happy. I'm going to do that. If what you need to make you happy is to watch football or basketball or whatever the sportsmen watch, and I'm not into it, guess what? You go into the one room and watch your football, basketball, soccer, whatever, and I'm going to go talk to my friends or chill or work or do whatever I want to do, and we'll meet up later, right? It's about meeting halfway. It's about compromise. It's about communication with comprehension. That's what conscious commitment looks like to me. It's not about a ring. It's not about moving in together. It's not about legal anything. It's about a spiritual connection. Am I supporting you on your journey? And are you supporting me on my journey? And if we are truly supporting each other on our journeys, there's going to be times that we spend apart. And we have to have the trust that it's going to be okay. My man is from Brooklyn. And as much as he loves Virginia, every now and then he has to go to Brooklyn and be there for like a week or so just to get his vibe, to get his essence. And I love it for him and I love it for me because it is a spa vacation. The minute that man out this house, I'm in the spa, I'm with my girlfriends, I'm eating out every day of the week. I don't have to cook. I'm sleeping in, I'm going to bed late. I love it. It's a vacation, you know? But you have to train yourself to always see the good in everything and not look for the bad. Because I could have just as easily been like, oh, I miss you. And when are you coming back? And it's so lonely, right? It comes down to our choices. Conscious commitment is always choosing to look for the good in everything with your partner. Always.
Oh my God, I love that. I have felt that in my bones.
Right?
Look, I took a couple nuggets off of that one for myself in the pocket.
I love that.
And that is really a viewpoint that all of us could stand to hold for at least 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, accept your person and rock with them and let them be them, you know, like don't try to change your partner. If you change them, you're going to no longer love them because you fell in love with the person that they were.
Exactly. That's like with my husband. When I met him, that man was bald. He grew out his afro. He went bald again. He was like, I hope you don't think it's crazy. I was like, sir, this is how I met you. This is
I love it. I love you regardless.
Exactly. It really is. It should be noted and should be held within that you have to accept them as they are, who they are fully, and give them that space too. Because just as we want to grow and do our own things and have our spa days, they got to do the same thing too.
That's it. Exactly.
So, wow, this has been so good. Now, I have heard you say many times, leaning into that spa moment a little bit, that in order to be the best, if you want to be the best, you have to outlast the rest. How do you hold ambition, hard work, and spirituality together without guilt or apology? And I'll tell you, I'm taking notes on this one, okay?
Yeah. So I'm a Capricorn and ambition is like just what we are made with, you know? And it's all about being flexible. When I was in my mom mode, when my children were under 18, that was the role. That was the main role. I was still ambitious, but now I had to work twice as hard because when my kids came home from school off that bus at 3:40 p.m., I was in the kitchen waiting with snacks and juice boxes, right? No client. I didn't care. They like, I'll pay you extra. You're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait because my workday started when they got on the bus. My workday ended when they got off the bus. We would have our time together. We'd play games. We'd watch our little shows. We would make dinner together. We'd ask about their day. They'd do their homework and everything. And then when they were in bed, 9 p.m., back to working again till 1, 2 a.m. And then I would do it over and over and over for the past 10, 15 years. I can't remember how long they've been in school, right? And was it exhausting? Absolutely. Was it tiring? Yes. And when I was working, when I first became a single mom, which was 2010, they were like 4 and 2 when I became a single mom. I was working as a massage therapist, and then I decided I wanted to start Lotus. So I had to have enough money to pay the bills. I had to have enough time for the children. And I also had to have enough time to put into my business. So what I did was I worked 2 jobs and I worked Lotus and I took care of my kids. I did not have any time for friends. I lost a lot of friends because I had friends who we used to like go on trips around the world. And they were getting frustrated because they would always invite me and I can't go. I had to lose friends. I had to lose my designer clothes. I used to work at Ann Taylor, so I always wore nice clothes. I couldn't afford that anymore, so I started shopping at Walmart and Target, right? I had to lose meat. There was a point in my life where I couldn't afford to eat meat. So my kids thought, it was fun that we were like going vegetarian. People thought it was for health. I just couldn't afford meat. You make sacrifices because if your dream is so important to you, then you have to do everything you can to make that dream a reality, right? Now, I don't have to work as hard because I did all that work to build my business, right? So now I can sit pretty and people pay me triple an hour what they would pay somebody else to work with because they understand they're not just paying me for a session, they're paying me for my experience and my expertise and my wisdom and the fact that they know I'm going to get it done, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the beginning, for anybody who's starting their businesses, you have to put in the work. You have to miss out on the vacations. You have to miss out on the weddings or whatever people are doing because you are married to your work, right? That's ambition. And then you do reach a place where the money is just flowing in and it's continuous and you don't have to work as hard. And then you can take the vacations and stuff. I think people have it twisted. I think people, when they start their business, they want to have a balanced life. No, it's 90% work and 10% off time.
Mm-hmm.
Over the course of years, you change it to 50% work, 50% off. And then if you're lucky, well, not really lucky, if you're ambitious enough, it will be 20% work and 80% off time.
Ooh. Had to let that one land for a second. Let that marinate, let that settle.
It's hard because a lot of people don't have that work ethic. Because I coach, right? I do private coaching for people. Either I'm helping them with their personal lives or I'm helping them with their manifestations or I'm helping them with their business. And when I set the homework for them, they can't do it. And I say to them all the time, I say, you don't really want this thing. Because if you want this thing, it'll be the only thing you think about. And every time you make a little bit of money, you're like, how can I reinvest it back into this thing? Because this is the thing I really want. You got to find what you love and you got to find what you would do without payment. Because that's how you know that's your thing.
Slavery, that one. Oh my gosh. Like for a second there, I forgot we were doing a podcast. I was like, this is just you and me.
Right?
Wow. Well, with that, for someone listening who feels done with this performative healing and tired of being soft when life requires strength, what truth do you want them to hear on top of all that?
No one's going to save you but yourself. No one's going to do it. Not your coach, not your mentor, not your husband, not your wife, not your mom, not your dad, not your siblings, not your friends. Nobody's going to save you but yourself. So if you don't get up and do the things you need to do for your life, it's not going to get done. And then you're going to face a situation. You're going to face a crisis. So don't put yourself in crisis mode. Do everything yourself. And you know what? Stop complaining about it. Stop complaining that my husband don't take out the trash. Be thankful that you actually have an accumulation of things that you have trash to take out, right? Don't be complaining that I have to cook all the time, right? Be grateful that you know how to cook. You can cook the most delicious, healthy meals instead of eating out all the time. Like always look at things from the perspective of I'm here to have this beautiful, joyous experience and it all rests on me and it's all about me. And when you start to look at life that way, life begins to change for you because then everything becomes joyful.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, really and truly. So this was a great first episode.
I definitely think so. And with that last part too, just the no one's going to save you but yourself. That has been something that has been repeating over the past 2 years that I've been hearing from music. There's this band, Bring Me the Horizon. They have a song in which that's the whole song.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it. And that's the way I live my life. I recently, just before this podcast, just yesterday, I was given some news, some health news that I'm dealing with. And I cried about it yesterday. I dealt with it yesterday, and I woke up today and I forgot about it. To be honest, I forgot about it because I was like, at the end of the day, I'm going to do me. All the way to the end, I'm going to do me. And I have no apologies, no F's left. I'm going to do me. So even if anything is to happen or not happen, it doesn't matter. I lived life on my terms. Like that Frank Sinatra song, I did it my way. And I think people need to start living their life that way. Do it your way, and then you have no regrets because you did everything you wanted to do.
I mean, how else can we live?
How else can we live? Well, Rachyl, I want to thank you so much for holding this conversation with so much care. And to everyone who is watching and listening, thank you to everyone who joined us for the first ever episode of Truth Tuesday. This show exists because conscious living requires honesty with ourselves, our choices, and our lives. And if this conversation resonated, I invite you to join us every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern for real conversations that don't bypass the truth. This is Truth Tuesday, and this is just a beginning. And guess what? Tonight, Rachyl had me in the hot seat, but come January 20th, she will also be in the hot seat, and we will be bringing you her topic soon. So thank you guys so much for showing up. I really appreciate you guys, and I appreciate my co-host Rachyl, and we will be seeing Rachyl around some more. So I hope you guys do hit her with a fave and a follow. And guys, I'll see you soon. Live your best life. Bye for now.